First thing we all do after a new season starts, we find the new season starts. And there have been plenty going around already, some clean, some cringe. But one thing's for sure, nobody's sure about anything. Before we get to those, let's get to this. Nexus is having a little contest where the person that sells the most in-game Smite content could have their own in-game Smite content, being an icon, a global emote, or an announcer pack. I've been getting hounded for that thing for the past 3 years, so I'm giving it all the go I've got. If you want to help support that, using this referral link when you're getting your gems or your battle passes or whatever goes to helping the cause. Unfortunately for my console brethren, these are PC only. Blame Microsoft or Sony, not me. And to give back, I'm also doing 8,000 gem giveaways, plural, yes, throughout the week on my stream, also PC only. And now for the starts. If you don't like change, well, good news, because you can use the Season 8 starts. In fact, because of the changing of the timers, they offer a positional advantage. So let's review. ADC and mid start red. Mid goes to mid. ADC goes over to the purple, where the support already was doing it with a hog. Then you clear high up on the wave. That gives you pressure for the harpies. That gives you pressure for the next wave. Then gives you pressure for the side camp. Season 9 seems to have a traditional duo lane of sorts. Kinda. The mid is just going to play it safe because these mid camps are gone. The only thing that happens to you stepping forward this early is the jungler can come and gank you. After clearing that first wave, go get these back camps or just stay there if you like. Solo just starts blue, goes to lane. Jungle can do speed, and these camps look for a gank on the solo or head to mid. Junglers no longer have to run screaming to the mid lane unless they really want to, because there's nothing to take. Pressure is justified by what you make of it, and with the mid camp spawning at a minute 35, there's just nothing to make with that pressure. Also, if you pressure too early, you're going to let off the gas, you blew your entire load, and you won't be able to secure these at a minute 35. And I know you're wondering, hand has been raised this entire time, what about the green buff? And that, my friend, is where the other starts come in. So the support and the ADC do green and then purple together, then wave. The mid and jungler goes speed, then to red. The mid laner goes to mid. The jungler goes down into the back camps. From there, they go back up into the oracles, or they go back to their side of the jungle, then maybe gank depending on where you end up at. This one has been catching on quite a bit, and it has its perks. This specifically helps mid the most. This one puts more farm into their pocket sooner, gives them a little more safety, a little more threat. However, I would almost call this mid laner propaganda, as it does get your jungler behind.
Literally all these junglers know that the start gets them behind but me ahead. Losers.
And I'm not even sure that it gets the duo lane ahead, because if anyone is splitting the green buff, it's worth 35 XP. To put that into perspective, a melee minion is worth 30 XP split two ways. So then the question becomes, is it worth it to you? I think the answer lies in solo lane. Solo doesn't do these two back camps, even though they spawn a lot sooner. They don't do this little baby camp because it's up, and they don't do the little scorpion if it's up. Sometimes they don't even do the totem. And why? Because while getting farm is important, where you are when you get that farm, what it costs you and your resources is as important. In Season 8, they did at the start go for the back camp, then the buff camp, then the wave, but maximizing their farm immediately didn't maximize their pressure, the point where it was costing them later on. Another thing to understand is having more XP does not mean you're in a better spot. All that matters is the level lead, especially during the early levels, because you are unlocking abilities. What if I do beat you to level 2, but you pressure me out, beat me to level 3, 4, and then 5? And then there's another start where the ADC and mid split green into red. Everything else stays the same, and you're getting more farm, losing pressure. It feels like all of these starts have their pros and cons. While trying to maximize farm and pressure at the same time, you're gonna do a bit of a give and take. And I could have just said what I think is the right start, but I think it's valuable to know at the start of a season what people think, because you never know where they're coming from. At the very least, the start of Season 9 has been very dynamic, but I think there's one start that does compromise properly. Firstly, my favorite is the Season 8 one. If you have an all-star mid laner, I do like the mid and jungle doing their thing together, but I don't like that it gets the junglers behind. Here's what I think. Mid and support do green. ADC starts the red as they normally do, hands it off to the mid laner. This also helps in the whole juggling department, so you're not losing so much of your health on the way in. But wait for your mid laner to get close so that you don't do the smalls without them. That should be plenty of time for the support to get to purple to hog the smalls as they normally do. Nothing changes for the ADC, and you get a wee bit more farm on the roles that need it while keeping pressure where needed. That's my suspicion based on XP math and value on the map. Now, one thing that everyone does seem to agree on is the starts in Smite are clunky, and they have been for a very long time. All of these can go so wrong in so many ways if people don't know where to start or don't know how to hand it off properly. It's a bit of a mess, and for what? All the fun's in the lane. I think there's a little too much emphasis on the starts, but keep all of that in mind because the starts have been known to 1, be tweaked, and 2, just be changed willy-nilly because we figured out the better ones a few weeks in. So which is the best start? The one you can get all 5 people agreeing upon. Solo laners have lucked out, or maybe they're bored now because they get the exact same start as before no matter what else is happening. Now get out there and become the gods you were meant to be.